Hey everyone, so take a look at this nightmare. I got so many drills and impact guns and wrenches and saws and everything's just starting to pile up everywhere. So I wanted to do a little, straightening up in the garage area, and I decided to go with the Everbilt 16-inch by 16-inch plastic pegboard. So let's show you how this actually gets installed and how nice it actually looks after you're done. So there are a couple different ways you can go about doing this. You can do it the very cheap way, or you can do it a way that I think will last a lot longer, and that's the way we're going to do it. So I did go up to the Home Depot, and I wanted to see what they had, and they didn't have that much. But they did have this, it's almost like an MDF type of board, and it just has a bunch of holes in this pegboard, and it's a 4x8. Now this would only run you about $19. The issue with this is that you would have to cut it, which isn't that big of a deal, but you would also have to put a 1x1 or a 1x2 strip of wood on the back of this and then actually tack that to the wall first and then put this over top of that so you have enough room to put your inserts. If not, if you just put this straight up against the wall, you're not going to be able to put those hangers in, right? So I was looking at this and I said, it's a little bit cheap. I don't know if I really want to go this route. Now you can see right here that it is a little bit flimsy, and I'm not saying that this wouldn't work, but I'm planning on hanging heavier tools, so I wanted something that was going to last. I didn't feel like putting the boards up behind there, nailing those in, and then screwing in this pegboard or nailing in the pegboard. I just didn't want to deal with it. I did not think it was going to hold up over time with the on and off, tool removal. And I decided to go with the Everbilt. So I'm going to show you the Everbilt system here. And I think they did a really good job with this. If you want this method, you're probably looking at about, $20 to actually get the pegboard hung up, or $25 to get the pegboard hung up. And then, what other attachments you're going to get with this, it would obviously cost a little bit more. But I'm going to show you, everything cost me about $100 to use the Everbilt system. So here's one of the 16 by 16 inch Everbilt pegboards, and it's pretty heavy duty. It's pretty thick plastic, and what's nice about this is if you can line this up on a stud, you can go from 16 to 16, right? So you can find one stud and just keep on going with it. You're in pretty good shape, and we're going to try to do that here. And you can see right in the middle there's a screw hole. So let's start cleaning this mess up, and we'll start installing a couple tiles first, and then I will show you the end product. All right, so I got all the crap off the workbench, and let's just sweep this up here, get this nice and clean. We're going to have a couple screws in the back that we're going to have to take out. You want that wall to be flush. You don't want any junk on there because you want to make sure that once you start hanging these, it's going to sit flush up against the wall. And you can see I got a screw here, I got a screw there. So let's just take those out. And once you take them out, you're good to go, right? So just make sure you get all that junk off the wall. So depending on how you want to do it, all you do is just screw those right into the drywall, and that's it. And what we're going to do is we'll actually put those screws through there. Yeah, just make sure you get those easy. That way you screw this in. And at the top of there, just make sure you get a bit. Okay, so pay attention to those. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to put the first one up and just find out where I want to start this at. Now I have a stud, I already marked the studs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark a hole there, and then we'll level it out. Alright, so what I did was I actually applied the first screw in. So now I can move this back and forth. So now all I have to do is take a level. When I grab the level, I'm going to put it up underneath. I'm going to make sure that this is nice and level so these things don't start going out of whack when I start clipping them in together. Once you get the first one in, you're good to go. But just make sure you got it nice and level under there. And then once you do, just mark out the rest of your holes. Now, once again, if you don't have any studs, make sure that you use an anchor or, like I said, the easy anchor. I love those. Those are extremely easy to use, and I'll show you, just how easy they are. But, just mark out those holes. You got one in the middle of the peg. You got one on each corner, and it's nice and level. So now we're actually going to put the screws in and install that first one. All right, you can see here I already marked those holes, and I am going to insert this easy anchor. And you see how that went in? So now all I got to do is take the screw that comes with it, put it into the hole, and screw it in. And that's it. And I got a really nice solid bite. So you can see here, this is actually going to slide up into the lip. And these are actually going to connect together like that. All right, just to show you once more, make sure that this lip here goes up like that. It's actually going to go into that slot. So you have to make sure they're pointed up. Once you do that, it's basically just lining them up and screwing them in. And over here, you can see I have two already up. Let's take the paper off. It's probably easier, but you have a hole here. Remember, one on each corner, one in the middle of the actual pegboard itself. So now all you got to do is make sure that you drill those in nice and tight. And what's really nice about these is they actually stay away from the wall. You have about a 1/4 inch gap from the wall, so now you can put in your accessories and not have to worry about going up against the wall. So now what we're going to do is take this other one and just butt it up to that. What you want to make sure you do is when you're putting the screws in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one in the middle, you have to leave the top right tab of the other right there out a little bit so it actually slides in. For a closer look, here are where the screws go. And then you have those little tabs on the side that actually click in with the other tab, and you will be able to screw those in as well. But the one thing I will say about this is the plastic is a little bit cheap on the bottom of that. And I don't like that. I wish I would. Now you can see we have about 4 up here now, and it only took about 5 minutes, and we're still going. We got 6 up there now. It does not take long at all, and it's extremely easy to do. So I was really impressed about how easy the Everbilt system was to install. All right, so now we got 8 up. And once again, 16 by 16, you're going to have a pretty nice space. I mean, you're going to be able to hang a lot of tools off of that. It's actually a little bit bigger, but you can see I put screws in right where the two connected. So I'm going to have screws in there, and I'm going to have the screws that are actually connecting in those little tabs. So it's very secure to the wall. There's no way this thing's going to fall off. So I also went and looked for some accessories here, you know, some hanging hooks, and you know, here's for the screwdrivers and so on. These are pretty cheap. They're like $2 a piece. And I was kind of disappointed. I wish I would have had more selection at the Home Depot, and I also got that basket for the batteries and so on. But you know, this should do the trick. Once again, I think like these are like $1 a piece. They just slide in there just like that, and they hang. Now you can hang whatever you want on that thing. And it's extremely sturdy. I was really surprised just how strong it was. All right, so let's start hanging these things up. Here is one of the drill hangers, and you just put it in just like that, and you can see it does not hit against the wall because it does extend out a little bit, and you just hang it up like so. Really simple to do, and you can move these around. You can, you know, reorganize if you want. You can add more, add less, whatever you need to do, but just so simple to actually install those. All right, so here's the end product, and so much better. Now I can go and grab my impact wrench or my screwdrivers and then just put them back when I'm done. I don't have to worry about going through the toolbox. I had so many carrying cases for all these things. It was just starting to look ridiculous, and I got to be honest with you, this thing holds a lot of weight. Each board holds 50 pounds, so I'm really excited about that, really happy. There's no give at all on this board. This thing is sturdy, it is solid, and I'm really excited about that. Now, total, this cost me about $100. That was with all the accessories, you know, the clips, the hangers, and all that. Now, you could go cheaper with the pegboard, but I don't want to. I think this is going to last a lot longer, and I think it looks a lot better, and you don't have to worry about it. Look, I got my batteries set in the basket. I think that was like $5 for a couple baskets. And, you know, your hammers, your jigsaws, just everything you need. And there's so much weight on this. And it only took me about 30 minutes to install everything. So now I can just go up and grab what I need and then put it back. And I'm really happy with this. The only thing I will say is that the tabs where you actually put the screws in, you know, the holes, they could be a little bit more sturdy. But other than that, this is a sturdy storage system, right? It really does hang your tools nicely, and it just looks a lot better, and it looks professional. So now when somebody comes into your garage, they're going to say, wow, that's actually really cool. And look at the screwdriver hangers. Those are really neat as well. So I think the biggest thing for me was the batteries. I have batteries all over the place. I never knew which ones were charged or where they were at. And it turned into a nightmare. So really happy with this system. And like I said, it cost about $100 for me to use this system with all of the accessories. It would have cost me about $25 with the other pegboard. But, you know, I think this is going to last a lot longer. And I hope this helped you. So if it did, please thumbs up, subscribe. Check us out at www.toolreviewzone.com. And we will be back with more videos soon.